What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of Fox Fantasy Insiders, brought to you by Gaming Generations. My name's Lucas.
And I'm Justin.
And we're your Fox Fantasy Insiders all NFL season long. Been here talking to you guys about fantasy football. Not just any fantasy football. We're talking Dynasty,
Redrafts,
DFS,
Prize Picks.
Stardom sit-ems. It's all in this show. You can find everything here. In every episode, we're bringing something new to talk about. And in this episode, Justin, it's week 10.
Yeah, we're there.
We're in the point of the season where if you're making playoffs.
Yeah, you're on the brink.
Yeah, you're on the brink. If you're kind of on that cusp, you need to make a couple pushes.
Yeah.
You need to acquire some targets. So we're going to help you guys with that. We're going to talk about league winners in this episode. Players that you should go out and get. Maybe they're expensive, maybe they're not, but these are players where, favorable matchups later in the season.
Yep.
And we want to target these guys so they can bring us the gold.
That's right.
Awesome. So we're going to bring you guys some of those players, but first, let's hear a word from our sponsor, Gaming Generations.
Check out Gaming Generations, where the gaming world comes to life. Embrace the gaming lifestyle with friends, new and old, and rediscover those classic games with their wide range of retro gaming options. From consoles to headsets and controllers, they have it all. You could trade in your games for cash or store credit and always get the best deals. Do you guys need a quick fix? Well, don't go picking up a used phone off the waivers this year. If your phone goes down this season, don't worry, Gaming Generation has got you covered. From phones, tablets, laptops, consoles, controllers, and more, their walk-in repairs will make sure that you are covered. At Gaming Generations, they always make it their priority to help their customers. Gaming Generations, where your gaming dreams come to life. Now, before we get into this episode of League Winners, let's look at Gaming Generations' November sales calendar they got going on. This week, they have buy two, get one free used PlayStation games, and that is going on all week this week. So if you're a fan of, Crash Bandicoot,
The classics.
or just the classics, or Gran Turismo, or things like that, make sure to head over to Gaming Generations for your buy two, get one free PlayStation game.
It's a good time of the year to kind of look out for these deals, The holiday season's coming up. You want to do some shopping for Christmas time. November is the time of the month to do this.
To do it. And just, stay tuned for upcoming deals in the following weeks, as they got some pretty sweet deals coming for you guys. But before we, before we get into it, should we talk about last year's kind of league winners?
Yeah, what would you categorize a league winner? What is a league winner? If someone's like, man, you got a league winner on your team.
I would say, in my opinion, is someone you, didn't expect going into the season.
Yeah.
Who kind of had a mid start.
Yeah.
And then during playoffs just skyrockets and booms and going off for 20 plus points a week.
Right. Some league winners obviously do have the big flashy names. Like last year, Christian McCaffrey and CeeDee Lamb were both great.
Were huge.
But you kind of expect that from them. Where you're drafting them.
Right.
That's like, okay, I drafted you to be a league winner. But there's some league winners that aren't drafted that high. You look at their playoff schedule for fantasy playoffs, and you're like, this is kind of favorable. They're going to be passing a lot. I want to go and get this wide receiver. You get him, and then he blows up, and you look like a genius.
Yeah, you want to talk about the running back you brought up?
Yeah, Kyren Williams?
Kyren Williams.
Yeah, I think he's going to be solid this year. He's had a touchdown in most of his games.
Yeah. He was a big part of people's playoff push last year. And then another person I want to bring up is, I don't think you would really think of it, is Amari Cooper.
This is last year still.
Last year's,
right.
Yep. I had him in my league last year, and I was going against my brother-in-law, and he was the only one left to play, and he went off for like 30 points that game. It was just immaculate, and I'm so happy.
30 bomb.
Yeah,
quick.
it was beautiful.
Yeah. So, you look at their schedules, or you kind of look at their situations. Maybe he's like the last man standing type of thing. And I mean, you go and get these guys, and you can buy them in a time where maybe they're sucking right now.
Yeah, like a buy low candidate.
Yeah, buy low candidate. So I got a couple names here. We each got 3 names. If we share a little bit more, so be it. But I want to talk a little bit about Puka Nacua first.
Okay.
Known greatness. You know, he is known to be really good. However, you know, between injuries and
throwing hands,
you know, he got ejected. Some managers, I would just poke the manager of the Puka Nacua and be like, hey, you sick of him? You know, he's kind of trouble right now. He's throwing hands, or he's always injured.
Yeah, the injury part's the big one.
Right. I mean, I'm even scared of injuries. But we've talked before on this show where we can't control injuries. We can kind of like, okay, Chris Olave is one of them.
Yeah.
Chris Olave's got a history of concussions. You kind of...
Thanks to Derek Carr, first of all.
Yeah, you go in thinking... okay, there's a possibility he can re-aggravate a hamstring like Mike Evans.
Yep, right.
So don't just tone out injuries. But if you look at a healthy Puka Nacua, you're like, sign me up.
Yeah, I mean, man's getting 10 targets a game.
And he's healthy right now. He just got ejected.
Right.
So, I mean, I would poke the owner and be like, hey, you, I don't know, sell him a Kareem Hunt. You know?
Right.
Like, I mean, that could be a fair deal if you're good at running back and need at wide receiver.
Yep.
Because Kareem Hunt obviously is for redraft purposes, he's a solid
I'm loving Kareem
running
Hunt
back
right now.
Yep. But if you can get a Puka Nacua in the postseason.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like you probably are going to have to give up a little more to get these players. But you're already probably in a position where you aren't in playoffs right now, and you need something to change up where you can have that steady running back or receiver or tight end or whatever you need.
Yeah. It doesn't hurt to check the prices, you know, buy for any discount. You know, we're shopping out here. It's week 10. We're shopping for championships.
That's right.
So
you might, give up who you got to give up.
Who are you targeting out here?
I think I got 2 names, but one that really stood out to me just off of what I saw on Monday is DeAndre Hopkins.
Oh my gosh, we were just talking about him last week on our Halloween episode.
We were.
Saying that he was a spooky start, and now he's dropping 2 touchdowns.
Yep, and I think he can be. I think he can be that league winner. You know.
Yeah, I think so.
Mahomes and Reed both said, you know, he's going to get a lot of targets in single coverage, and I mean, he looks like himself back there. Like that one pass where he had 3 defenders on him and he caught it.
That's classic.
I didn't think he was going to catch it, and sure enough, he came down with the ball and they got a touchdown off it. Like
DeAndre Hopkins, man, and like, gosh, you could have got him on the waiver wire.
Yeah.
When he was like with the Titans, like in our work league, big 14-man work league.
Yep.
I picked him up before Sunday, you know, just to have on the roster, you know, and then cut him because he probably didn't do anything, and then like 3 weeks later he gets traded.
Yep.
I really wish I had DeAndre Hopkins on my roster right now. You know, I got a banged up wide receiver core, and that would be really nice. But that is a great answer because these traded players go into these situations are really beneficial. Going to the Chiefs, known Patrick Mahomes.
I mean, he has the best quarterback in the league throwing to him.
Yeah, you know? I mean, some people might say, well, what about Amari Cooper? I mean, I'd rather have DeAndre Hopkins.
Right now, just off of what we're seeing, right.
Yeah, I mean, Amari Cooper's got that wrist injury.
Yeah, and he didn't play last week, so we don't know, but
I think he could. He has the potential. I mean, look what he did last year.
Absolutely.
League winner.
Yep, and now he has Josh Allen throwing to him.
Right. I'm going to talk about a running back here. I'm going to go with Tampa Bay rookie running back, Bucky Irving. You know, he's been pretty solid, scoring over 15 fantasy points in his last few games here. He's had the lead RB room in carries, you know, and what we like is targets, especially if you're playing in a PPR league. You know, targets are money signs. You know, I see that. And, you know, he's tied with Rachaad White with 3 targets. And Rachaad White, we have seen, like, he's been injured here and there.
Yeah, he's more of the pass catching back.
Yeah, I guess... I mean, this isn't a guy that's like, oh yeah, I'm plugging in and I'm comfy. Like with Kyron Williams or shouldn't say Christian McCaffrey, but like a Breece Hall, you're like, yeah, this is like a guy that can explode. I believe this guy can explode, but it's just not going to be every week.
Right.
This guy has potential.
Oh yeah.
If Rachaad White goes down, boom, right here.
Yep, and there's been a couple weeks where Bucky Irving has had 2 touchdowns in a game. And
yeah.
I like that
nice
pick a lot.
seeing, because with rookies, he's got the trust. Even though he's had a couple fumbles this last season, he's got the trust of the coaching staff. Like, they put him out there in crucial, scenarios.
Yep.
And I guess I want to talk a little bit about this, but just insurance backs at this time of the season is kind of crucial.
Yeah.
So if you have Rachaad White, I would try to trade for Bucky Irving so you have that backfield locked up.
Yep, for sure.
I mean, beginning of the season, finding insurance it's hard to hang on to. So, like, say if you're the Kyron Williams, manager, beginning of the season, it's just hard to hang on to Blake Corum.
Yeah.
Because it's just so tough early on in the season. But now, week 10, here we are. If Kyron Williams goes down, he's getting a lot of work, putting onto his body. If he goes down, we will see an immediate workload for these
And this
rookies.
is the time for it, too, because playoffs are right around the corner.
Yeah, you Breece Hall managers, go and try to get Braylon Allen because, that's one of my players. I'll just kind of tie this in, but Breece Hall has one of the most favorable running back schedules going forward.
Yep.
And if he goes down, Braylon Allen immediately will be a top running back. There's no question about it.
No, yeah, I agree. And to go on that, I have Breece Hall in a redraft, and just to that point exactly, I have Braylon Allen on my bench.
Yeah, and these guys probably aren't on waiver wires. I think we're too far in the season to, for you to do that, to have that pickup. But you can go and try to persuade. So say if you have Breece Hall, right?
Yep.
Say you don't have Braylon Allen, but you have Tyler Algier. Would you go to the Bijan Robinson owner and be like, "Here's Tyler Algier. Would you give me?" kind of do a insurance swap.
For sure,
Because
and I don't see why not.
He would like that.
He would 100% do it. I would think.
It's tough hanging on to someone else's handcuff, but you also have to do that as well sometimes.
Yep.
Braylon Allen, if Breece Hall goes down, like I said, Braylon Allen will be great. So these guys need to be rostered.
Yep.
I guess is what I'm saying.
I'll go into one more. One that is a league winner for sure, and you knew this from week 1, and I'll make it sweet and short. Is Saquon Barkley. We all know.
Dude. The hurdle.
Let's
talk about the hurdle.
Yeah, my God. That was just, it was so cool to watch. It was like a little kid again watch, you're playing Madden, and it's just, that move was just crazy. And
even Madden is you do that in Madden, you're like, what? A backwards hurdle? I don't even know if you could do that.
No, that's the first, I've never seen that before. And so Saquon, obviously, we all know this. But one other running back I want to touch on is Aaron Jones.
Okay.
Just because he has a favorable matchup coming up against the Jaguars and then the Titans. The Bears, after that, they have a good defense, but how that offense is running, you got to think the offense isn't going to be on the field much, so it's going to wear down the defense. And then after that, we got the Cardinals and Falcons. So I just think matchup-wise, Aaron Jones has a pretty good schedule going into the end of the year.
Yeah, and he's got the trust, and he's involved in the pass. He's just a solid RB overall, and he's looking, I think, better on the Vikings than he did on the old Packers. He's looking up to par, I guess.
Yeah, I would say
what
he's
I meant to say.
par. Yeah,
he's looking good.
He killed it on the Packers. We can't deny that.
Yeah, true. He was at one season, he was the whole team.
He was the team.
But he's looking promising. I think a lot of people were afraid that his age was going to be a factor this year. Aging running back trade to the division team, but dude's out for a vengeance.
He is.
Yeah. Looks
all
good.
because of $1 million.
Yeah.
That's all it was.
I'll take $1 million. Sweet. I'm going to go to another different position here. I'm going to talk a little bit about a quarterback.
Okay.
I'm going to talk about a guy that had, I think, 4 fantasy points this last week. It's Kyler Murray. I want to talk a little bit about this. It was a bad week, and he's known to have a few bad weeks, but he's also known to have a lot of really good weeks. Let's just talk about, he's got the Jets this week, and then they have a bye, okay? It's not, you're like, why are you telling me this? It's not that attractive. But hear me out. Following the bye, Murray has one of the best schedules headed into the playoffs, and for 4 quarterbacks. And I think when the bye passes, usually that's when rookies take a step forward. So him and Marvin can get on this page, and they can connect, because I just think the chemistry right now with Marvin and Kyler, it's just not there.
No, it's not.
Hoping that this bye helps them out. I just think it's a good, if you don't want to go all in on Kyler, I totally understand. But like having Kyler as a backup, I think is pretty nice.
Yep.
I mean,
yeah, you got to keep in mind.
Are so hard, man.
Yeah, and you always got to keep in mind like his rushing ability.
Yeah.
The dude is so quick.
Yeah, and some days it's existent, some days it's like non-existent.
Yep.
So he's a frustrating player, but if you can get him on the cheap, I guess is what I'm saying. You can argue he had 4 points this last week. He's got a hard matchup against the Jets, and then he's got a bye. Why would that player want to hang on to Kyler Murray?
Yeah, it's a buy low situation.
It's a buy low situation.
Yep.
Because then after the bye, things are pointing up for Kyler Murray. If you're a contender, you might as well.
Yeah, at least poke him.
Yeah, see what's out there.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
Should we get into kind of players who we want to? I guess this kind of makes sense too. It's players to target, or I like George Pickens a lot here.
Yeah.
Just because, I mean, it seems whoever's in that quarterback positions, whether it be Fields or Russ, Pickens is absolutely killing it this year.
Dude, he is. With Russell Wilson, it's clicking.
Yeah, and they just acquired
Mike Williams.
And
I think that's going to help out George Pickens, to be honest.
Yeah, I just think George Pickens is someone you can go out and target, along with Quentin Johnson.
Yeah.
Who the Chargers are struggling with to find a receiver for Justin Herbert.
Mm-hmm.
But Quentin Johnson seems to be the wide receiver one.
Looking pretty nice.
And the last one is Xavier Legette.
For the Panthers.
With the Panthers.
Panthers rookie.
With the departure.
They just got Mingo and Deontay Johnson out of there.
Yeah. So who else are you going to throw to?
It's like, I don't even know his first name. It's that Coker.
Yep.
Coker and then Legette. And I obviously want the first round pick. You know, I want that draft capital. I think Legette's a good player.
I think Legette's someone to watch for. I mean, the last 2 games he's had a touchdown in each of them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, he did go out last week after the touchdown, you know, because he was hurt. But
yeah,
I think this is someone to keep an eye out. If he's on your waivers, maybe stash him.
Mm-hmm.
But those are kind of players I'm looking at that aren't like the big names.
Yeah, they're not too expensive.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to keep in mind rookies this time of the year too. This is like when those wide receivers take a step forward, and they can give you that more certain production than this like 3-point crap.
And if you have Mike Williams or T. Higgins or DK Metcalf or Chris Godwin, well, they're all injured or out for the season, you know, wouldn't it be a bad thing to go out and pick up these players or try to trade for them?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there you have it, guys. We gave you guys some league winners and some players to target.
I do want to bring up a couple more things.
Yeah.
If you don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you got?
A player to watch. We haven't seen him all year, and that's rookie running back Jonathan Brooks.
Yeah, what's up with this?
Who is making his debut this week.
Okay.
And just off of his college prospect, and
he's good. He was the first running back taken in the draft this last year.
And how high he was drafted.
Yep.
I'm super excited to watch him.
And see if there's anything there.
Finally step into this running back position after, 9 weeks of not playing.
Mm-hmm.
That's another player to watch if you need a very long dart throw, after this week.
Yeah, I think it's a good stash, especially if you're the Chuba owner. They're talking about insurances. I think it's just worth a stash because he could be good. We don't know for sure.
Yeah, we don't know.
We don't know what his workload's.
We've never seen him before.
Because honestly, they might be. I mean, they're going to give him some snaps here and there, but I mean, there's a possibility they just kind of save him for next year.
Yeah.
And kind of do like a reset. But they got to know what they're kind of working with.
Yeah, the Panthers have a lot of rebuilding to do.
Yeah. So I think it's definitely worth a look.
Yeah. Do you have any players you're out on this so far in Week 10 that you just want nothing to do with the rest of the season?
That I'm out completely on?
Yep.
I think, I don't know if I'm like out on this guy, but I definitely think it's like a sell high situation.
Okay.
It's a Bronco. It's Cortland Sutton.
Okay.
Just because like I can never really see myself like starting him. It's scary with Bo Nix, even though he has been getting it done.
Yeah.
But he came off of a crazy good game this last week. He even threw a touchdown pass, and I think that you can maybe pitch to someone that's in a wide receiver, you know, who's looking for a wide receiver, and you can be like, hey, can you give me something, you know, kind of work out a deal. So I wouldn't necessarily say I'm like out on him, but I think it's a good sell high opportunity
right now. Yeah, after the week he just had.
Yeah,
for sure.
Because I mean, look at his game log. There's a Thursday Night Football. He had that goose.
Yeah.
But obviously there was like trade speculations, and that didn't happen. They're keeping him. But like I wouldn't just go out and give him to someone, because if you can't get a decent amount for him, I'm just gonna keep him. And it's
if your other players get hurt, then
then you at least you have Cortland Sutton, wide receiver 1 on an offense.
Right.
So I don't know.
I would say one player I'm totally out on. I don't want anything to do with them. I'm not even going to start him. It's Michael Pittman.
Oh yeah.
Well,
like obviously with Anthony Richardson, you're like gross, and now Joe Flacco, you're kind of like and then you see that primetime game, and you're like, ooh, Joe Flacco looks kind of bad too.
It's just I don't know.
Defense, but still.
And that offense runs through Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't feel confident starting any player besides Jonathan Taylor on that team.
I'm in a decent amount of fantasy leagues, and I don't think I have Pittman anywhere.
I do not either.
Yeah.
Don't want him. I mean,
I'm not in pursuit of him at all. He's just out in the void.
Yeah.
I don't care for him.
I think I would honestly trade away Michael Pittman for a couple handcuffs.
Yeah, I would do that. Here's a wide receiver 1 on an offense, you know. Colts are somewhat kind of contending. So they're going to be throwing the ball. I mean, you could say that.
Yeah, I mean.
Throwing the ball to Jonathan Taylor, but yeah, I would definitely, a few handcuffs. I think that's
what I would do.
A good deal.
I'm done with Michael Pittman.
Lock up a backfield and get Michael Pittman out of your roster.
Simple.
I take that. Well, awesome. Thank you guys for watching this episode of Fox Fantasy Insiders, brought to you by Gaming Generations. Be sure to check out their deals. And good luck in Week 10. Hopefully you guys get that dub, win some money in DraftKings or FanDuel, and we'll see you in Week 11.